Here we have a much more complicated expression. There's a lot of multiplication going on, there's some adding, there's some subtracting, we have negatives in places. There's a lot going on here. Now, your teacher, if they've gone over fractions in class, they probably have talked about that when you're multiplying two fractions together, sure, we can just multiply them. 2 times 35 is 70, and then 7 times 12 is 84. But then we end up with a rather large fraction that we have to reduce. It's usually easier to reduce first. You can do this and reduce this. I can see at least a 2 is going to go into both of those things. So I could start there. But it's going to be easier in the long run if we reduce before we actually do any adding or subtracting or anything like that. Or even any multiplying for that matter. So 2 and 12, I'm going to use a red pen here. 2 and 12, they reduce. The 2 cancels away completely to a 1. The 12 turns into a 6. Same thing here, 35 and 7. The 7 turns completely into a 1, and the 35 turns into a 5. So we actually end up with no multiplication needing to happen at all. This first term just turns into 5/6. Next, we have 1/6 times negative 18/20. 1/6 can't reduce that. 18 over 20, that I can reduce. So 18 over 20 is going to turn into 9 over 10. Do you see how I can reduce it once more? The 6 and the 9. The 6 and the 9 will also reduce. So this will reduce again. We'll do this in blue. I can take a 3 out of both of these. I'm left with a 3 left over, and then a 2 here. So now I have plus 1/2 times negative 3/10. I'll come back to that. I'm just going to leave that there for right now. My last example, or my last expression to simplify, 2/15, negative 2/15, because remember I can change that to plus a negative. Any subtraction problem can be changed into adding a negative. Anyway, the 2's will cancel, and I'll have a 1 there and a 1 there. The 15 and the 3 will also reduce to a 5 on the bottom and a 1 on the top. So also the negative sign here, the negative sign here, and the negative sign here, they'll also cancel. So I'm going to end up with a positive 1 over 1, or 1 times 1, 5 times 1, plus 1/5. So now, when I am working on adding these things, I need to finish my multiplication. So I have 5/6 minus, because that's a negative, 3/20 plus 1/5. So now I have an expression that I need to find a way to add or subtract. So I need a common denominator. My common denominator in this case, pause for a moment and think, it's going to be 60. So 60 there, and 60 there. This one, I need to multiply top and bottom by 10, so I get 50. This one here, 20 times 3 gives me 60, so I multiply the top by 3, so I get 9. And to get 60 out of 5, I need to multiply by 12. So I get 12 out of 60 there. So my final answer is 50 minus 9. 50 minus 9 is 41, plus 12. 41 plus 12 is 53. 53 out of 60. That's my final answer right there.